everyone actually. Okay, so I copied the graph to the best of my abilities. Of course, it's not a perfect graph, far from being a perfect graph. And we have tons of questions here. Let me read the questions, but I'm going to add more to them. Use the graph to determine the function's domain, the function range, the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, the missing function values indicated by question marks below. So I'm going to add more anyway. So my first question here, I'm going to write all questions. Is this a function?
Yes.
So the answer yes is good, but it's not good enough. Yes, comma, by the
Wait, is that 181 or 80?
81.
I am the master of copying something else, but I think that this time I copied 81.
Yes.
But I have to tell you that you have to keep an eye on me. Sometimes I say 81, but I copy 80, but not today. So far, it's not late. So yes, by the
Vertical line.
thank you. I'm not going to put it in, but every time I graph a vertical line through the graph, it will hit the graph in 1 point. For each x, I read only one y. So this is the correct answer. Yes is good, but not good enough.
What other ways can you tell that something is a function? Like
From the graph, it's the vertical line test. So if you're given the graph, that's it.
alright.
Good. Next question. Find the domain. Domain of this function. So domain,
0 to positive infinity.
so hold on 1 second. So number 2, domain. Domain refers to values of x. So we look at the graph, take my marker or my pencil, whatever, and I start from the leftmost point and go to the rightmost point. And I feel that I sweep the Cartesian or coordinate system. Did I meet the graph? No, I didn't. Did I catch the graph? No. Yes! So the graph starts here. Not at negative infinity, not at negative 4, not at negative 3, but it starts at 0. I'm talking at the x values. Do I hit the graph? Yes, 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 yes. No. It's an open point. No. I did not hit the graph. Here. Do I hit the graph? No. No, no, no. So then, what is the domain of this function? We're going to write D. Can anyone give us the domain of this function?
0 to 5.
It is 0 to 5. Which symbols do we use?
Parentheses.
For which one?
For 5.
Yes, indeed. And the bracket for 0. Because at 0 it's a full point, and at 5 it's not. Great job. Very good. Range. Now we do the same thing, but for the y-axis. Okay. I start from below. Hit the graph? No. Yes, no. 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 Yes. That's the first point I see on the y-axis. There is nothing here. The graph does not exist here. It starts here. Right here. Yes, 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 yes. No. Not at 5. No. And no. No. So let's identify the range then. And how do we write it?
Where actually is that negative?
Yes, it's a very good point. Thank you.
It's -1.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't put it in. So then the range is
-1 to 5. And
-1 to 5. Very good. Awesome. Great job. Okay, number 4. X intercepts. I go back to the graph. I look and see, does this graph cross the x-axis?
Yes.
Yes. At this value. And if I'm asked to write the ordered pair, I would write 2, 0. X is 2, Y is 0. Number 5, stop me if you have questions, please. Number 5, the Y-intercept. I look now at the graph and see if this function crosses or touches or has a common point anywhere with the graph with the y-axis. Does it?
Yes.
Yes. At this point, where y is -1, we will write 0, -1, understanding that x is 0 and y is -1. Number 6. F of 3. Now I have to analyze f of 3. What does f of 3 mean? This means find y, which is the same with f of x, when x equals 3. So let's write this notation. Maybe some of you don't remember it. So when we say or write f of x, this is not f times parentheses x. This is a notation. It's f of x, meaning the function or output is f of x. That's the notation, and the input is x. Also, f is called the dependent variable. And x is called the independent variable. So I am told, find f, find the y value when x is 3. Okay, no problem. I go back to my graph. I know how to graph a linear function, a linear equation that is x equals 3. Here it is. I'm not going to graph it a solid line though. This is x equals 3. It crosses the graph in one point, and I'm literally asked to find the y value. From the actual graph, I don't know what it is, but actually I graphed it like close enough. So this will be f of 3, this value here. So the coordinates of the point are 3, f of 3, or 3, 1. So I go back, I replace f of 3, or say f of 3 equals 1. I read from the ordered pair, x is first, y is second. Always in that order. Questions, please. Yes. Is this okay? Okay, next question.
63 or 64? Like, is there a difference?
You want to look at 64, you mean this?
Yeah, is there a difference between how we do that?
This is a totally different question. We are only asked to state whether it's a function or not. Use the vertical line test to identify graphs in which y is a function of x.
Okay, I was just wondering, like, what do you do if they ask you to do stuff for...
Okay, so if, for example, we haven't finished that, I still have another question, but it's a good question. So for this graph, if I'm asked to find the domain, I will say from negative infinity till this value, union from this value to infinity. And if I'm asked to find the range, is from negative infinity till 0.
Okay.
Good. So the next question here, I still have question 7. And I think I'm on page 5. Question 7. Find x such that f of x is 4. What am I given now? What am I asked to find? This?
Find what y is when x is 4.
No. Because I don't have 4 inside.
Oh, you're asked to find what x is when y is 4.
Exactly. Y or f of x is 4, and I'm asked to find the independent variable now. Go back to my graph. I know how to graph y equals 4. Y equals 4 is a horizontal line. So through the graph, I will draw a horizontal line, which is y equals 4. It will cross the graph in this point, and then I will automatically come down to determine the coordinate for the x coordinate, the x value. The coordinates of this point will be whatever. I'm going to read 4.5, 4.2. So 4.2 comma 4. 4.2. I don't know what it is from the actual graph. It doesn't matter. I just need you to understand what I'm trying to do. And the numbers can be determined correctly. So 4.2 comma 4. We were given the y value. I drew a horizontal line because this is not a vertical line, it's a horizontal line. It crosses the graph in this point, and I was able to read the x value. Okay, that's all I had as questions. So for my example, I had 4.2. So the point that we read from was exactly 4.2 comma 4. Now, tell me if you are comfortable with this, or we need another example. There are other types. If you'd like to move on to page 232, there are other more complicated situations. So if you'd like to pick another example like this, and then I would like to look at the table. Anyone would like on page 232 to choose anything, or I will? Okay, I'm going to choose 90. I'm not going to have all the questions because I think we are understood unless you have questions. I'm going to look at 90 and also 92. So here's the graph for 90. Very important graph. We're going to talk about these in chapter 3. And you'll see what this line represents, the dotted line, and so on and so forth. Here I only want, so this is 90 on 232. 232. So I want here just the domain and range. Everything else, it should be clear. And this vertical line, we will talk about it. It's at x equals 1. Can anyone give it a stab at the domain and range? Anyone? So for the domain, we sweep from left to right. For the range, we sweep from low to high. So let's sweep from left to right. Is the function here? Does it exist? The arrows say so. Yes. 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 Where will you say no?
Right at that vertical line.
Exactly. So I will say negative infinity to 1, union, 1 to infinity. This signifies, parentheses, signify 1 is not inside. Either one. Can anyone sweep from low to high and tell us the range of this function?
Negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity.
Excellent, brilliant, thank you. That's it. I also want to look at another example because it's different, which is 92. Same page. Oh, I forgot to ask you, is this a function, by the way?
Yes.
Thank you. By the vertical line test, it's a function. Okay, is this a function? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, by the vertical line test, it hits only 1 point. All I want now is to determine the domain and range.
Real quick.
Yes?
What's the U? Like,
We discussed it last time. I can show you. All these notes are posted. If you missed anything, please. So this is the union and the intersection. So this is from last time.
okay.
Right here. The intersection, common elements, and the union is OR.
Alright.
It's good to review. It's good to go back to the notes. So always feel free to ask questions, please. It helps me, and we can go back to previous lectures. Okay, so can anyone sweep from left to right and give us the domain? So let's sweep from left to right. Yes? No? 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 Yes? Yes? No, 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 no. Yes. No, no, no. Yes. Can anyone join me?
Yeah. Then you have 1 and 4.
Please note the fact that since this is a finite set, I cannot use parentheses or brackets. This one says everything. Every little one next to the other, everything. But this one says clearly only this, which is -2, only 0, only 1, only 4. So please note that we have to use the notation for the set. And this is the notation for the set that we looked at last time. This is the notation for a set. When I list the elements, this is a set. When I list 1, 5, 10, it's a set. I cannot use brackets or parentheses because there is nothing in between. It only has 3 elements, 1, 5, and 10. The same thing here. Only 5 elements. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. So now can anyone sweep from below to the above and tell us the range of this function? What are the y values possible for this function?
Range is just -2, right?
Thank you very much. Just -2. I couldn't have said it better. That's it.